doing tonight? Woohoo! Yeah, no, that was really pathetic. All right, everybody here? Everybody awake? Everybody? Nope, not everybody's here. Hi, Carl. Everybody say hi, Carl. Welcome. You're just perfectly on time. All right. So we're just going to jump right in. This is Mia, for anyone who hasn't met Mia yet. She is a real estate agent, and I love her, and I've been working with her for a little bit over a year now. So anyway, I wanted to bring in Mia specifically to help people determine ARV comps. So we're going to run through a bunch of properties today. We literally just decided on what they were going to be like 10 minutes ago. But it was like, okay, did a wholesaler send you something? Send them to me so that we can compare what she finds compared to what the wholesaler tells us is the ARV, right? Because we're all dealing with that and we know that they're crap. So I'm going to let Mia go through how she does it on the MLS, and then as we go through, if you have any questions, just yell them out, shout them out. We're very informal for anybody who's new. And then at the end, we'll try and go through, just searching Zillow or, RealFlow and seeing if we can come up with some similar comps to what she's finding. Obviously, the MLS is always going to be the latest and greatest and the preferred method to find comps. But if you don't have access at all, or you don't have a realtor that you're working with, although I'm sure Mia will give you her card because she doesn't mind running comps. But best way, always through a realtor. And then, so we're going to just walk through some examples today. So ask questions if you have them, and we're going to hit some of those highlights. If anyone who's been to wholesales and acquisitions has heard Than say, make sure you stay within the same school zone. Don't cross over major, freeways or bodies of water or something crazy that's going to change the value of your property, right? But sometimes you're just looking and you pull it up and you're like, oh, it's within a mile, yay! And then you're like, no, that's not accurate. So hopefully we'll encounter some of those examples today. And I think that's it. Cool? Excited? All right, I'm going to hand over my fancy microphone to Mia. Hopefully it's working. If it's not working, someone on Facebook let me know, and I will finagle it. There you go. Clip and clip.
At least this is easier than the radio show. The radio show made me put this big old headset on, and then you've got this mic in your face, and it's totally in studio, just like everybody imagines it to be. It's really fun. So, how many of you guys have access to the MLS in some form or fashion? So we have a handful of you. You should be raising your hand. Come on. So most of what I'm going to teach you is on the MLS, but there's also a lot of strategies that you guys can utilize yourselves, and hopefully some tips and tricks that are going to make it a little bit easier in comping. And for those of you who are avid compers and here to enjoy my pretty voice, feel free to pitch in if you have an idea or an opinion, or if you do something different. I will happily take any suggestions, and you all too. So I had Marie just send me a handful of addresses so we can kind of play with it organically, just like I would if I were to start fresh. So if you sent me an address, these are going to be the steps that I typically take. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to find out if it was on the MLS in the last 19 years, because pretty much everything from 2001 forward has some kind of property transfer at some point. That's not always the case, though. This property is not in the MLS, but it's in Monsoon, which is our tax records. So that's actually where I'm starting, because the property that we started with isn't in the MLS. It's only on tax records. It comes up on Zillow, but it comes up with no information. Have you ever seen 0 bedrooms? That's how it comes up, because what happened is there's been no transfers of sale for Zillow to pull the records. So the way that Zillow gets our information, I'm going to touch base on this just because you said it. The way that Zillow gets 7932 East Hubble Street. So the way that Zillow gets our information is real estate agents update our stuff to the MLS. And then Zillow says, we're going to go check the MLS and pull this information. So how many times have you guys got a Zillow property, it pops up, you're super stoked, it's right in your price range, and you go to even call on it or put an offer or anything, and it's been under contract for 3 days? Zillow doesn't get their info instantly. Realtor.com doesn't get it instantly. The MLS is instant, where based on a real estate agent actually physically doing their job, the MLS is instant. But Zillow and all of these other companies, they're pulling data. So they're not getting the data, they're pulling it, which is why it can take so long for them to get it and make it a little harder for you guys to find houses on Zillow. So this was sent from a wholesaler, and I don't even know what they were asking or anything. I'll have to ask Marie in a second. But obviously it's in an LLC, so we can immediately determine it's some kind of investment property. I will actually use this and stalk and guess people's story based on what I find in here. So we can look at this and see that September in 2019, this LLC acquired the property on a next day sale. So they probably tried to wholesale it out, couldn't get the price point they were asking, and ultimately had to buy it because they were under contract. Does everybody remember I know we got a lot of new faces here when whoever came in talking about wholesale deals said that a lot of the times they'll try to wholesale them before purchasing them. So that's what we see a lot in this circumstance. But you can see prior to that why we had nothing in the MLS. Its last purchase date was 1958. So obviously I'm not going to pull anything from the MLS. Since there's no pictures, we can obviously guess what kind of condition this house is probably in. It makes it a little easier for investors to get in there. However, the sale price that the investor bought it at is $330,000. So obviously they're not going to go below that. Do you know what this one was asking on the thing?
It is on Zillow.
It's on Zillow.
At least it shows the sold.
Yeah. It's because of that transfer of deed that'll be on Zillow, but not on the MLS. So no loan history, because everything was done obviously years and years ago, but I'll actually go through the loan history and help determine any information in there that can give you. Okay. We'll find out.
This is literally just an email that I got from a wholesaler. So I was like, I don't know, try this address. 7932 East Hubble Street, HUBELL.
So their square footage, 1,900 square feet. Is that what it says on the thing?
Yeah,
1917. So sometimes you're going to see that the square footage will be different because whoever listed in the MLS lists an enclosed carport or addition or something, but this is typically what's on tax records. If you see down here in the bottom, it says added attached. There was an addition at one point, 297 square feet, likely permitted, not always. But when I say not always, the fact that it's in this system probably means that when an assessor came through or something, they counted this square footage. It's more likely to be counted on an appraisal, but not guaranteed, depending on the condition of the actual. It does not always count. Like that, the addition has to be done in similar property or similar workmanship. So it's probably 3-bedroom, 2-bath, based on rooms, counts, everything. Is it 4? 4-2? That's probably where that extra bedroom came from. So 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,900 square feet, 1961. That doesn't make sense. It was purchased in 1958, but the build was 1961. I wonder if that was a land purchase. Okay. So now that I have a little bit of information about the property itself, you pull up to comp it. And I do pretty much everything under quick search. I'm going to pull up for you guys, and anytime I comp a property, I'm always going to do active, under contract, pending, and closed. But for today, I'm just going to do closed so that it limits it a little bit. The reason I do all of them for you guys is, see, this is where I can't click, is because I want to know what's on the market, what the competition is, what's been remodeled, and then a lot of the times it's going to go in and I'm going to identify what is selling. If we're looking at an area and everything in that area is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, it doesn't always make sense to add a master suite to that. So every time I comp, and you guys should too, just pay attention to what's selling in the area. Do not over remodel in an area that's not going to appraise. And that is a huge mistake that a lot of remodelers are doing right now, is you go in, you make this gorgeous house, and then come appraisal, it's hard to get it to appraise because your house is the best house in the neighborhood. You don't always want to be the best house in the neighborhood unless you have a few other things that are supporting that. Okay. So in this circumstance for comping, obviously we don't care about list price, but I do care about dwelling type. The very first thing I click on is that it's going to be single family home detached. I don't want to play with all of the extra that goes in there. For me, this is just because the MLS, I'm going to enter the zip code so that I can zoom in on my map without having to identify exactly where it's at. 5257. You don't have to do that, but that's my lazy way. At all. Better?
Does that help a little bit?
Now I need to know where it's at on the map. Where's my block? Okay, so we can see that it's on Hayden. Now that probably means I'm going to want to stay to one side of Hayden if I can, but really it'll cross over. Hayden has a lot of similar houses in that area, so it's not terrible to cross over Hayden. Now, Marie was mentioning that you don't want to cross over school districts. I don't have school district memorized, but so I'm not going to look into that super deep today, but it's still good to be aware of. There are school districts in the area that will jump a house 20% in value just because it's in a school district. And a lot of the A+ school districts, so it's worth knowing the A+ districts because the A+ districts are no longer allowing any out-of-area enrollment. So for somebody who wants to be in that, have their kid in that school, they have to live in that community. So it's jumping prices in those particular communities. Okay, now I gotta find where I'm at in this massive blue box. Yeah, there's a few different websites that you can actually go on and like check exactly where the school districts are, and it'll show you the borders and everything. So if you guys were to glance at this, what are some things that you notice? Because our house is somewhere right here, right? So which houses do you think might be higher valued? Yeah.
On the other side of 8.
Over here?
Yeah.
So this right here, I guarantee is going to be a little bit higher, obviously, because it's on the green, right? In the beginning, I will try to not even use those as comps because they're going to offset my numbers. Ultimately, I will always look at them because I want to know what they look like, how much higher they're valued, and if they're comparable or not. Sometimes they're not even close to comparable and it doesn't matter. So the only thing I have right now is 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and mind you, 4 bedrooms, 3 and 4 bedrooms, I'll always start with the actual number of bedrooms on the property, but typically I'll still go back and look at what 3 bedrooms are going for in that area as well, because sometimes it makes a difference. And also with this house, because that 4th bedroom may not be properly because we don't have any information on it. I really want to make sure that I'm comping this. If you were to ever put a blind offer on this, you don't want to have it comped at a 4-bedroom and then find out that it's $30,000 lower because the bedroom is not able to be redone within your budget. And then square footage. How far out do you use on the square footage? So if this is 1,900 square feet, do you guys know how? What was it? 20%? What did you say? Yeah. So I usually go around 200 square feet lower, 200 square feet higher on this size of the house. You can go, you don't want to go too far out. Plus or minus 20% is usually a pretty good judgment. So I'm going to do 1,700 and 2,100. Didn't get rid of much there. Which is kind of a good thing because it means our house is within reason. What'd you say, Mike? You do what?
I do it from the tax record side.
Oh, for the plus or minus 20? Oh, I usually just go 200 square feet, varying. And if it's a weird number, like if it was 1857, I might go up more because I want to make sure I encompass. Or if I pull this up and there's like 3 houses, you have to expand out and change some of these factors a little bit. This is the MLS. So this you would have to be a real estate agent or have MLS access in some way. Or you send the address to me and I'll send it to you, but it's important to know what goes into this because then when you're looking at houses, you'll get to identify a lot of the different parameters and why we pick certain houses compared to what a wholesaler picks. Because wholesalers like to pick the greenbelt houses and say your house is worth $580,000. Just for the heck of it, what do you think this one is? I clicked on it too quick. 280? What? It looks like a single family. All of a sudden the computer's really slow. It's not acceptable. Yeah. That looks more right, 416. But that looks like a condo. None of these should be condos. I'm in single family. What the heck was that? Well, this one's sold. Huh? Maybe. From the main one? I was trying to figure out what was going on and how this sold for 280, but
7922 sold for 455.
nice. So
Smaller than the subject. It's pretty awesome. So I can see how it sold.
So Hubble, that one didn't come up. What was the size?
1,478.
Oh, it's because
Oh, you did. I know you did.
I did 1,700, so it cut it out. I haven't mapped yet. Hold on. I got to get back to mapping. Jumping ahead of myself. So for year built, I don't do year built right away. Year built does make a difference depending on the property. But I just had an agent literally get into a full argument with me because he said that year built was one of the most important factors on a house that was 100% remodeled, new plumbing, new electrical, new lines, new AC, new roof. It's nearly a new house. And he was getting upset with me because it was comped based on other, like 1979 instead of 1972 was supposed to be the max out. I'm not kidding. This is a real estate agent. I am in the transaction with them right now. That was their big factor on the property, is the year of the house. So if a house is entirely remodeled, have you all seen an appraisal, a physical appraisal? Yes? No? Okay, so when a house is remodeled, on the appraisal, they'll actually give it an adjusted age value. That adjusted age value is going to be what determines the age of the house. So the reason that I don't look up the year on here is because whatever the year is, your adjusted age value when you guys are done remodeling it is probably going to be higher. I make sure that I'm not looking at 1959s to 2017s. Like obviously but I like to leave it in there because I want to know what we're competing with. And if I see that a house is 2015, I'm not going to click it as a comp. But I'm going to know that we have a competition in a new house on the market right now that ultimately we can see what's in the area.
Conversely, how far back is going?
For a year?
Looking at, say, when you're comping, and your subject property is a 70s house, and you see comps that are 50s, do you exclude them from being that old?
No, most appraisers do plus or minus 10 years on average, but when the houses have been remodeled, it's kind of hard to evaluate just based on age, because even if, for instance, if I were to go in here and I find 10 houses and 7 of the 10 houses have been entirely remodeled but they're all 1950s compared to a 1970s house that hasn't been remodeled, it could still fluctuate the age a little, the value, because it does, like, but it depends on what's in the area too. They're not going to go in and be like, okay, we have 10 houses, 15 houses that are all perfectly comped, and go, well, let's just check out these 1950s houses just in case. So it depends on what's available to comp, how close they are, how comparable they truly are, and the appraiser will go in and evaluate based on so many other factors. They give a certain dollar amount towards granite counters. They give a certain dollar amount towards the kitchen. They give a certain dollar amount towards the tile floors, or the pool, the garage, the enclosed carport compared to an open carport. Like everything has kind of an estimated dollar value based on square foot and based on what other houses in the area have sold. So if they see that every house in the neighborhood has a 1-car garage and yours has a 2, you're going to get more of a compensation for that 2-car garage than if every car in the neighborhood has a 2-car garage and you have none. Like, it's...
I was asking from a different point of view. I mean, we're approaching it from like infrastructure. A 1950s house, you're more likely to have
Smaller.
sewage problems, right? If the plumbing has been replaced and if we're doing ARV review, don't know that. Like this property.
Appraisers will look at what's been done on another house as well. They don't physically walk it, but if they're on the MLS and the MLS says that everything's been remodeled or everything's been redone and the sewer's been redone, they're going to go based on that house sold at this with the fact that this was public knowledge. So they will use that. Now, in regards to like a basic 1950s house that has nothing done to it, no, they're probably not going to use that as a comparable to the property, especially if it hasn't been remodeled.
But for us, with what we've got looking at the MLS, can you see that? I understand you're talking about appraisal where you get a full report, but we wouldn't have that here. So is that the type of information?
Appraisers look at old MLS listings, which you guys have access through Zillow, or most of the other systems out there. They'll still show old listing information. So if you pull up a Zillow house, it'll have all of this stuff on there from the listing, and then it'll have a bunch of the information in there. Not all of it, but some to help you guys. And aluminum, it's a 1960s number, but I don't remember what. Yeah. 68, it's in the 60s. I don't remember the exact year. I know for a lot of the plumbing issues, it's 81 and prior. The fabric wiring was prior to the 78. Pretty much 1978 is almost a magic number, because
Fabric wiring was
No, I'm sorry. Everything is prior. Fabric was 1950s.
Okay.
I don't even know when that actually ended, but I know it was in the 50s. Yeah.
So we don't have a ground.
Yeah, the ground started in the mid 60s. Is that right, Mike? Do you know that one? When they started grounding houses?
Would you know how much that devalued the house?
Nothing, because what
Yeah.
they did was they rewired it.
Okay.
You can connect the
Pigtail
luminous
it.
copper
Okay.
with, there's this 10 degrees to
They also people at Home Depot, they have outlets and switches that can be connected to the little wires.
So really, as far as wiring, you don't have to worry about it until you get back to the cloth, two wire, and then you're gonna have problems. Or Bob
Yeah.
and Dad have problems.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of those other than the house I lived in Virginia.
So I would assume most of them have been updated.
Yeah.
I would think most of them would have been updated, because if somebody lived in it, they're not gonna be able to plug their stuff in.
Yeah.
You have to carry a candle around?
Just in case.
And then, the house we got iron pipe for drains, but it
You've seen what?
we had a stove.
What's Navatu?
Yeah, like, that's used
I haven't.
as well.
1978 is kind of the general year that you're almost safe, almost. Because 1978, there's the lead-based paint, there's the asbestos change, the wiring change, the plumbing change. Literally, all of a sudden, whoever it was came in and said, we're going to actually regulate this now and make houses safer.
I think the reason we did okay was because the house burned down and they pretty much doubled it.
There you go.
So even though it was a 1950s house,
Yeah.
the 70s.
Yep. Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that everybody realizes what Mia's trying to show us right now is how can we determine after repair value comps. We don't
Sorry,
care
I got
about
distracted.
1950s at all. We're looking at what are we going to sell it for today in today's market. So let's stay on track so that we can get finished with this presentation before 8 o'clock.
That might be my fault.
Sorry, I'm just trying to bring it all back together here.
So,
Too many tangents right now.
get distracted. So I'm going to pull all of these just because, so we can kind of see what the price variation is, and then we're going to kind of play with it and see where the numbers actually hit. So obviously they start in the 270s, 279s, which is pretty low considering this house was just sold for 310, and all these are larger or around the same size. So I go through these really, really fast. I'm going to try to slow down a little bit, but obviously wood panel wall, outdated, carpet, old fireplace, outdated kitchen. There's literally no updates in this house. Might have to do with why it was $275. And then just because it is still so close to Old Town, I kind of want to know a little bit more information, but it was on the market for 85 days. It started off at $325. Wait, something happened. Pause. In 2015, shush. I'm fixing it. Okay, date range. We never want to go back too far. So I've been going back 120 days lately because I want to encompass everything. Sometimes, depending on the area, sometimes you're going to go back 180 days. Sometimes you're going to go back 60 days because of an area having high activity. So 120 is kind of a neutral number, and apparently we have nothing in this neighborhood in 120 days. So let's expand that out. That explains why those numbers were so low. Makes sense. So see how there's nothing in here? Like, I have nothing in my whole little box of where I would typically comp. So I'm going to go, and I'm actually going to change it to 3-bedroom is going to be the first change I make. Your stupid thing doesn't work.
Mia's using my computer, so we have to give her a little.
Sorry. And her computer doesn't have little downy uppy thingies. Yes. Technical words. So there's still hardly anything in here. We have one house sold for $545 in the area. And this is where I'm probably going to have to expand out on square footage and things like that too. I don't even have year on here. So you see how if I were to restrict it too much, you don't have anything. So this one's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, but it has a bedroom plus. 1965, it does have a pool. And so the other, our main house had a pool too. Everything has been resort or updated, and it's got a resort backyard. So we're just going to glance through this. Super cute. Updated flooring. Quartz counters. No popcorn ceilings. Hood vent. So they've done the very modern Scottsdale. Oh wait, but they left that nice cute glass tile in there. So obviously pretty updated. $545. I think that would be a good comparison for if you guys were to go in and fix up a house. We know that it could potentially sell for $545. I'd like to have more comps. And this one sold. The other thing that's really important to you guys is how long did it sell. So this one sold in 56 days. It started off at $550 and sold at $545. So it's probably priced pretty right. Anything above $500,000 often takes 30 to 60 days to sell, just because it's usually on the market a little longer. It doesn't have as many people looking. But pretty good idea on pricing. Do you guys have...
Do you know what average days on market for Phoenix and Dallas?
I hate to say overview for average days on market, because in all technicality, the average days on market for Maricopa County is like 120 days, but they count the $1 million houses. Every area is different. Like Scottsdale area, average days on market is 30 to 60 days right now, but then there's tons of areas in Phoenix that average days on market is like 15. So that 200 to 300,000, 200 to 350,000 price point is really, it's a hot seller right now, and they're going fast. If it's anywhere close or anywhere under 250, you can almost guarantee 5 to 10 days on market. So that's, I mean, obviously those are a little harder to buy and flip, but you can still be buying and flipping under 350 and get that kind of prime niche and sell fairly quick. Are you guys seeing anything different on days on market? Does that seem...
Houses under 300 sell like today.
Yeah. They're really hard.
It depends where it is, like in Scottsdale, but we've been looking for houses, and some of these houses are selling within 2 days. They're
Yeah.
cheap ones are $650.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still some prime neighborhoods are still, but you really have to know neighborhoods. So for what?
So the house that we did buy, I liked it, but I was like, oh man, we're going to move there, right? Somebody bought it. got it
Where did my thing go?
I think they actually paid $625. They flipped it for $995. Okay. It wasn't a big house. It was like 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. They're like 53rd Street South Shore.
Wait, I'm in the wrong.
Nice neighborhood. Yeah. But I mean, it seems kind of crazy. So you expanded to sell the house for that.
280.
I was blown away. I was like, wow, I guess I should have bought that. That's not my fishing pond over there, right?
So I went back 6 months and then just closed in my space so I could kind of see what's in the area. You can see where our numbers land. So we actually have some in the 300s. So I'm going to randomly pick one that looks, I want to see what 423 is going for and why, because it looks somewhat remodeled, right? So the outside, they did nothing to it. Very basic. Inside, we have a cute kitchen. I'm going to guess it's small. Not really small, just kind of awkward. Decent backyard. Didn't update the ceiling fans. There's carpet in the bedrooms that doesn't look new. But that's probably what killed this house. It has a very enclosed kitchen. If they were to have opened up that kitchen, it probably would have made a really big difference on the way this layout worked. Because look how small that kitchen looks, even though it's not. So this house would actually still hurt your comps for listing just because it does look decent. Look how cute that one is. $475. So again, remodeled. It's got the nicer ceiling fans, some decent floors, but it looks like laminate floors, not tile. Open space, shaker cabinets, standard remodel. All I did was 183.2. I went back 180 days, and it's at a 3-bedroom, 2-bath right now. Which, if I look at my list, let's see how many of these are actually. So we have some of these are 4. So the one that I just, oh my gosh, seriously. The one that we just looked at, the 475 was a 4-bedroom. The 423 was 3-bedroom, which that's a pretty big jump. So actually that bedroom made a difference in this neighborhood. No, it's a 4-bedroom. 4-bedroom, 2-bath. I would have to do more math and a lot more research because I would go through this and look at all the ones that are 4-bedroom. How much are they selling for? Is that bedroom really making a difference? So far, it looks like it is because 423, 395, 395. Those are 2-bedrooms. But then we have this that jumps in there. I don't think that's remodeled. Maybe. So that one's not remodeled. Kind of not remodeled. They painted the cabinets. That's the kind of. So this one's clean, move-in ready, but doesn't have a pool. So there's a few different reasons why that one's in the $390 range. But now I really want to know why this one's $570. Because this, mind you, these are closed houses, so these are sold. So not a whole lot on the front yard, but it looks recently everything redone. Nice kitchen. Is that? It looks just like Mackenzie. Like literally the layout, see, they did the living room over there. So, super clean remodel at the 570. Which tells me that if you guys were to do a really nice remodel on a property, that would be the peak. I always give you guys a little cushion and tell you not to go for the top. You guys can do what you want, but this one was on the market 88 days. So just one more thing to look for. If you do go top remodel for top price, can you afford to go that extra 3 months on the market? So always keep those numbers in mind. Here's another 570. Again, super remodeled, nicely done. Sorry, I'm going to zoom through them. And then the big question, see, this one's 39 days. Find the right buyer. This one also sold in April, which does make a difference because spring, people are more likely to be buying in the summertime. Again, really clean, remodel, whole 9 yards, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, sold in 4 days. I was going to say that 3rd bathroom probably made a difference. It also has a bedroom plus, so somehow they're counting up to 6 bedrooms or 6 rooms in the house. Now that bedroom plus could be a actual extra bonus room, and it could be somebody accidentally counted a room twice. Real estate agents, 2,000. $2,085. So within reason. It depends on the neighborhood, depends on the house. There are some neighborhoods that a bathroom will increase the value of a house by 10, 15,000, and some neighborhoods it does nothing. And depends on if it's remodeled. Sometimes it makes a difference if it's remodeled and has that extra bathroom, and sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, 10 to 15,000 for a bathroom is what an appraiser will usually adjust for. And that's when I say that, that's going from 2 bedroom to 3, or 2 bathroom to 3 bathroom. Going from 1 bathroom to 2 bathroom makes a massive difference. Like, you're almost guaranteed $15,000+ by adding a bathroom to a 1-bedroom house or 1-bathroom house. It will make a massive difference. So if you find those little gems out there that are 3-bedroom, 1-bath houses and the ability to add that bathroom, it makes a world of difference. There's not many people out there looking for a house with 1 bathroom, and the few people whose budget says that they're in the house for 1 bathroom, they don't want it still. So I literally spent 3 months looking for a client for a house because she wanted 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $200,000. That doesn't exist very easily, and we got outbid on 8 offers on properties. I tried putting her into a 1-bathroom, and she walked in, and it was a big nope. We'll wait to find our 2-bathroom. So people aren't too keen on 1-bathrooms. I'm going to try to comp a second property, and I'm going to try to do it quicker this time, so you guys can get a second.
Okay, so just so you know, this particular guy said it was worth 510.
Absolutely. This guy is actually correct. I would definitely say the 510 mark is a little low. Yeah, he could be in the 550s. And if I were to send this to you guys, I'd probably say between 540 and 555, depending on what you do to it. Because that would make a big difference. Is if you go cheap on it, it's going to be on the little bit of a lower scale. If you go all out and really make it a Scottsdale house, then you could easily be in the 550s on this. And what's he selling it for?
335.
Anybody want a phone number?
I was just going to say, might you want to find this one?
I was going to say, that's actually a really good deal.
House 2 doors down that just sold for $455, and it's 400 square feet smaller.
455?
2 doors down, 3922, or 7922.
And see, these ones, the rest of the comps are selling for 545 in this price range. So
It's a no-brainer, $100,000 spread, so,
yeah, because you could easily get this done in,
yeah.
depending, mind you, we haven't seen the property yet. We don't even know what it looks like.
4 or 500, is it a cross haven?
I was trying not to exit out of my other stuff.
The jump from one side to the other is,
You're talking about the jump across the
hey,
Hayden. He's asking you about your 100K spread.
oh,
Why do you use a 100K spread?
house, you're gonna buy it for $335, and we know we can sell a smaller house on the same street 2 doors down for $455. I got $100,000 to play with. The house isn't very big, so it shouldn't cost me maybe 50 to do it. So, unless the house is a total disaster.
Just use that as a quick reference to say, can I buy it without running through like a deal analyzer?
Yeah.
In this circumstance, yeah.
Yeah.
And mind you,
If I saw that house sold next to it, I would have bought that house, probably without even.
yeah, this is sight unseen right now.
Right. And then,
Odds are,
There's no harm in making an offer. You always have the ability to back out unless it's with a wholesaler that's requiring a non-refundable deposit. If it is on the MLS, make the offer.
yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Make an assumption, make an offer.
So here's the map of where all the properties are. So everything is super, super close. The 550? Which one?
The one that you
The really expensive one?
The best comp, they have the highest comp.
The Virginia 570?
How far is it from the subject?
Well, the subject is. Oh, I actually exited or
Yeah, because the subject is like right
subject's right here. But there was nothing in there. That's why.
Isn't the subject to the left of the golf course?
It's right here.
The
In between
subject-
79th place and
subject
Hubble.
is
I guess me
literally-
pointing at it doesn't help, huh?
The subject is right here. It's the corner lot on Hubble and 79th place.
Okay.
So it's not on the other side of the golf course. It is all of
On the
these.
same side of the golf course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's the 550 house?
Well, most of these are in the 500s.
What was this one right here?
That one I didn't have. I want to look at that one right now. I was trying to click it. It wouldn't let me. Oh, see? Why is that one?
Only $399.
Pull it up. Hit the MLS button.
Cypress, so that's above the cow.
This one might hurt us.
Well, that's why Mike's saying he thinks that going on the
Other side of Hayden.
might be a big.
Yeah, the other side of Hayden is rural.
This one sold in 188 days, so something was wrong with this house.
Well, people move there for a reason.
It has new everything.
Probably the house is like
Wow. That's
2,500 square feet. Yeah, that's not the best. Because I use a simple rule of $30.
yeah, not remodeled at all.
So the house is 15, 17.
Not remodeled, no pool.
If I ever get to that top number, never would get it. But it's kind of a safe.
That'd be my guess. What the? Wait, what happened? That's. They painted it. They got feedback to paint it. Look. New picture. Old picture.
It's like Arrowhead meets Tempe.
They should have probably picked a different color. So I would honestly say, due to the fact that that house is, even though it's clearly not remodeled, I need to drive this, physically drive it, and really identify, is this house actually comparable to the one across the road? Because if not, I'm going to have a lot of numbers to play with. Either way, the house is being sold at 310, right? 335. So we have some spread. That one is, I don't think it would go under 430. So there's at least 100,000 spread. But, and with the other ones in across the way, I think that it would still be in the 500s. But I definitely need to like physically drive it and see. Because this is one of those that I would not give you a number if you called me on this until we could identify the neighborhood.
Would you give a range?
I would send this list and this information to you and let you know what it could be if it's one or the other. Because obviously if this does compare to those other ones, it's in the 500s. Easy. Because of the location, all of that. But if crossing Hayden really makes that big of a difference, if that neighborhood truly changes, then you have to take that into consideration. Otherwise, you're going to sit on the market for 200 days and wonder why you're not selling. So this is one of those that I would be a little bit more hesitant and do a lot more research on before giving you a number. But either way, usually when I go in and do this, if I don't have the time or if I'm just trying to do a quick comp for you guys, I'll still send you a whole list of what's in there so that you guys can do your evaluation based on the numbers or the houses that I sent. And you guys can do your homework too, because obviously there's a lot that goes into this, but then I'll take the time and actually really identify what the price point's going to be based on the location.
Does anybody have a particular property that they're looking at right now that they want me to come? Anybody?
No?
So we got in their inbox?
3925 West Solana.
I just throw me out under a.
Thanks. $39.25.
West
know, isn't that one of the ones?
85019.
I think that's in my inbox. Okay, so I'm going to go through this kind of quick, try to get it done in 15 minutes so we're not here forever. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,300 square feet. It's a 1966, has a private pool, investor or handyman special. Home has had many updates but needs some of the finishing touches. On the market for 17 days, started off at 240 and we're down to 220. And that was back in September. So this is a recent transaction. So wholesaler probably bought it. It does happen to mention private remarks. This is stuff you guys don't see. Pool needs to be redone. Have estimate for $11,000 to $16,000. Can send pics upon request. So you guys know the pool needs redone. That's the only photo we have. It's a dual level house, so tri-level house. So you see how it's got the basement level there. Yeah. Oh. Fun. So, how much are they selling it for? 220. Okay. So for exactly what they bought it for, they're trying to break even at this point. Yeah. Okay. So they're saying that the renovated homes in the area go for $290 to $310. No FHA offers, which really restricts them. Mm-hmm. So let's see. So I'm going to go in. Oh my gosh, seriously. Closed. Dwelling type. Great. So single family, detached. I start with zip code because it's easier for me. 4-bedroom. Now I'm not going to do 2.5 bath because I don't want to get rid of all the 2 baths that are out there because the half bath only makes like a $5,000 difference. So I'm going to say 4-bedroom, 2 bath. Approximate square footage, we were at 20,000, so I'm going to do 1,800 to 22. I'm not going to do anything on interior levels, year built. 2,000. Oh, was it? Oh, look at that. 2,100 to 2,500. 2,550. Okay, so 3925. It is 39th Avenue and Bethany Home. So it's right near GCU, so it has a high rent rate, FYI. We don't want to go north of Bethany Home because that will make a drastic difference. Even though we are close to Bethany Home, we don't cross main streets if we can avoid it unless we have to. So for me pricing this, I'm going to be right in that area. But there's nothing in here, is there? 120. What did I do? This house is a large house. That's what it is. So what if I took out... There we go. Nope. Did I hit another button that's like really restricting? 4-bedroom, 2 bath, 85019. I'm going to take the zip code out because, well, I'm trying to comp a house. I want my little bar on the side. It only comes up every once in a while. Like when I try to get it, it doesn't. This is a hot area. I think something messed up in the MLS because, well, there's a few more. So this might be one of those instances I have to go 3-bedroom. Watch them all pop up. That's not even that many. This is crazy. Normally in this like this type of an area, I would have 40 on my list right now. So the fact that there's only 7 and I've expanded my parameters out so far means that it's apparently either a really popular neighborhood and there's nothing on the market, or harder to sell in that area. But it is near GCU, so I'm amazed that GCU has not picked up this house, because GCU is picking up every house in that whole area that they can. But it may just not fit in their parameters. So you said it's 2,300 square feet? That's pretty large. We have 2 in the area, 220 and 235, so let's see what this one is.
There's 5 houses that sold.
That's this one.
That's the house.
Mm-hmm.
They're not exactly darn close. Same age, same room count, same pictures.
For what?
5 of them, and the highest sale is 315.
I was going to say, here's our 315.
And it's kind of weird. So
It's unique. Use the real estate agent words.
I mean, the finishes are awesome.
I was going to say, it looks good.
I don't know how you kept the materials from getting stolen. Yeah.
So obviously really nice remodel, super similar house. Were we on the same square footage and everything too? 2360, private pool. So this would be a great comp for the property. If you guys were going to go all out and do a full remodel on it, this is the highest at this time. 4 days. And I'd be willing to bet you, just because I'm curious, the neighborhood, I'd be willing to bet you that somebody bought the house for their college child. Carrie Sullivan. Oh, maybe not. Who knows?
There's another house for 295 or 290 that is sold. Listed 422, closed on 6/6. That's pretty fast. It's a nice looking house too.
This one, it was a flip. So Amir Vetri bought it for 205, did their remodel on it, and sold it for 315. They did not make a lot of money on it, unless they bought it for super. And they flipped it really, really fast. Because they bought it, oh no, never mind. They bought it in October. They just had some title issues. And then 290. Empty pool. That's never good. Basketball hoop. The plaster will rot in the sun very, very fast, like within a weekish. So if you leave a pool empty, that plaster will just die.
When you own a pool, you should drain it every 2 to 3 years. And when you drain it, the temperature cannot go up above 90 or it will crack.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you expose that plaster to the temperature, crack. That's it.
And then you have leakage. So it's temperature and sun. Because your pool water can still get up to 95 degrees or whatever, 90 some degrees. But the water somehow protects it. I don't know. Don't ask me the science behind it. I just know that you're not supposed to. Oh, that's pretty flooring. Everyone love that? Mismatched. Small kitchen, half backsplash. So that one was 242. So I think you'd be pretty safe in the. This one doesn't have interior pictures. It's really weird. You'd be pretty safe in the 300 to 315 range. And I would start at 315 just because it's already sold there. Any questions about anything I didn't answer on comping? Are you more confused or less confused now? So really, I just wanted you guys to kind of know what my step-by-steps are. You guys can do similar steps, just it's a little bit more complicated with your systems and takes a little longer unless you have access to the MLS. But you shoot an address over to me, I can usually get them to you usually pretty quick and get you what the comps are. And otherwise, feel free to ask questions or ask about properties. And yeah, I've got them in my bag. I'll grab cards for everybody.
Awesome. So thank you, Mia. Everybody give me a little quick. Let me steal that for half a second. Okay. So, yeah. So for anyone who's new, we're here from 6:30 to 8:30, 7 o'clock we start whatever presentation. So show up sometime between 6:30 and 7, network, hang out. 8 o'clock we usually have the presenter stop so that we can respect people's time, whoever wants to leave early, but 8 to 8:30, then you get to ask more questions and network or whatever. And sometimes I'm here till 9 or 9:30, and sometimes we go to the bar next door. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a quick spiel. Just saying. They have happy hour before 6. So if you do ever come early, Oven and Vine is over there. I should get some money from Oven and Vine to promote. Okay, just so you guys know, real quick, I just want to let you know what's coming up. Next week, Aldridge, what are you presenting? Don't fall asleep. Mortgages.
We can do that, we can do bad contracts.
Bad contracts, yeah. These are both, well, both of them are going to come up soon.
Well, yeah, because we have 3 wholesale contracts that I've seen in the last 90 days that were really, really bad.
Yeah. Okay. So we might do, maybe we'll do a little, I'll do a little poll on the Fortune Builder Facebook group and everyone on our Weekly Huddle Facebook group, and you guys can choose whether you want him to go over reading contracts or what you need to qualify for mortgages. He's a local mortgage broker for anyone that doesn't know that. So, qualifying for mortgages for rentals and bad contracts. We're going to go over both of them in the next couple months. So, whichever one you want next week. Flip a coin. Okay, so that's going to come up next week. The week after, what's next week? The 9th? Okay, the week after, the 16th, I actually have a commercial lender from Desert, what are they now? Desert Schools? Desert Financial? Desert Financial Credit Union. Yeah, they changed their name. Okay, so I have the commercial lender from Desert Financial coming in, talking about differences between residential and commercial loans and what you need to qualify for that. And then October 20, and they're slower. Big thing to know, they're slower. But October 23rd, I have Marie Caminaro coming. She used to work for Facebook, so she's going to go over online marketing. She's amazing. I've paid for her classes. She's coming here, and you don't have to pay for her, so take advantage. And yes.
She's worth networking.
Yes. Yeah, she's awesome. So anyway, so that's the next upcoming weeks. And then the 30th, we will be here. We usually do a property tour the last week of the month. But November 6th, which is the first week in November, this room was actually booked by someone before I booked it. So we have to be out of here for November 6th. So we'll actually be here the 30th of October, and then we'll do a property tour on the 6th instead. So I'm going to push that back a week. But that's it. That's what's coming up the next few weeks. So hopefully everybody comes back. And I love having you guys. That's it. Thank you and good night. Hopefully my speakers are working. Oh, what'd you say? Sing.
Individual properties.
And they're usually individual. Oh, actually, I'll show you the email.
And I'm just wondering, do you get to negotiate the price? Does it give you a price that you can negotiate, or is this price usually hard?
So them, I'm on their list.
living much together. Nice meeting you.
The top of the road was 315. And I think I had 315.
I wish I had another screen because it would have been fun to like pull up Zillow on the other side. Oh, I'm still talking. All right, goodbye, Facebook. I didn't even realize I didn't shut it off yet. They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, is that still on?
Yep.